2024 budget to be passed before the year runs out. Budget and Economic Planning Minister assures Nigerians.
We have confidence that the end of the year deadline can be met.
Utide Vice President Shatima, governors pay homage to President Tinubu in Lagos. Plus, military chiefs join troops on the front line to celebrate Christmas. Good evening and welcome to the Network News on NTA. I'm Elizabeth Omori, and compliments of the season. Michael Olale joins us from Lagos, and Abubakar Musa is in our studio in Maiduguri. Do remember to follow this newscast live on our website nta.nj/live, NTA News Now on X, as well as other social handles displayed on the screen. About 5 days to the end of 2023, still the federal government is confident that the 2024 appropriation bill currently undergoing review at the National Assembly will be passed before the year runs out. Budget and Economic Planning Minister Abubakar Atiku Bagudu expressed the confidence during a chat with State House correspondents in Lagos after briefing the President on the state of the budget.
Interactions we have had with the leadership of the National Assembly, with the chairman and members of the two appropriation committees of both the Senate and the House, give us the confidence that the timetable that they have set for themselves is being met with. And we know that MDAs, ministries, departments, and agencies of government, pursuant to Mr. President's instruction, have been attending to summons or briefings or requests for information to that. We have confidence that the end of the year deadline can be met. More so because of the warm relationship between the executive and the legislature.
He says Nigerians will have a lot to cheer about with the passing and subsequent implementation of the budget, as it broadly captures the 8-point agenda of President Bola Tinubu's administration.
And the 8-point agenda, the renewed hope agenda of Mr. President, particularly those areas like agriculture and food security, poverty eradication, creating of jobs and economic growth, inclusivity, and access to capital, particularly by a teeming young populace, provision of security and accountability. Even those who are not members of his party share in these ideals, and the budget is reflective of that. It's made provisions in all these areas, and in addition, it has met, I believe, the aspirations of many Nigerians in terms of increase in capital spending and lower recurrent expenditure.
Away from the 2024 appropriation, President Bola Tinubu has advised leaders at subnationals to continue to prioritize delivery of good governance, as he also sues for peace among Nigerians. The president said this when he received members of the Nigerian Governors Forum who visited him in Lagos. State House correspondent Musbah Danwahab reports.
The second in command, Kashim Shettima, was the early bird to pay homage on his principal and the Frost family in Lagos. The number grew as he was joined by some cabinet members on similar visits, and the seat of power practically shifted to Lagos for this day when members of the Nigerian Governors Forum turned in their number.
Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas.
It was the first of its kind visit on the president since assumption of office, and so supposedly a joyous moment. But then, the tragic loss of lives on the plateau darkened the moment. President Tinubu condemned the carnage as he says Nigeria belongs to all, and so remains the responsibility of all to work for its unity.
We have to stop the carnage. We have to take care of our people. Make life more sacred and educate our people for a change of mindset. the circumstances that were had.
The president, however, nudged the governors on good governance, calling for collaborations among the tiers of government to bring about an all-round development.
I would say bye-bye to classification of federal or rural or state roads. Let's regard also as our joint responsibility. Let's look at our children. The school feeding must be back quickly, starting from local government to state government and the federal government. All children are our own.
For us in the States, we'll work with you, Mr. President. We'll also seek the opportunities that are available from the federal government in terms of agriculture, infrastructure.
And for the celebration of the season, First Lady Oluremi Tinubu led the governors on a special treat. From Lagos, Musbal, then Wahab, NTA News.
And as the federal government is unfolding policies and programs, the year ahead holds a lot of good prospects for Nigeria and military, as the Nigerian Army expects delivery of more hardwares and other combat enablers that will see a better security environment develop across the country. This was in a message from the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, at the Christmas luncheon with frontline troops in Yobe State.
The Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai in Yobe State has made tremendous progress in recent years in its fight against insurgency, which has ensured territorial integrity in all parts of the state. The Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Taoreed Lagbaja, who commended officers and men of the Nigerian Army and other security agencies in the state, observed that defeating the adversaries and creating a peaceful state is not possible without the supreme price paid by some security personnel. The Theater Commander, Operation Hadinkai Major General Gol Chibusi, and Commander, Sector 2, Joint Task Force Northeast Operation Hadinkai Major General Myron Saraso, both acknowledged that troops who sustain injuries in the course of defending the nation are given adequate treatment to full recovery. The Yobe State government assured of its commitment to ensure support to the military in the fight against insurgency and other vices.
I desire to return our troops home to their families and loved ones safely. To this end, we look forward to creating a more stable condition that will allow for a drawdown in the strength of troops deployed on internal security duties across the country.
The Christmas luncheon created an atmosphere of relief and happiness to the military as the frontline troops came out of their fighting trenches to embrace one another and celebrate Christmas among colleagues. In Damaturu, Adam Yusuf, NTA News.
Meanwhile, significant breakthroughs have been recorded in recent years in the Northeast Theatre of Operations owing to the synergetic offensive by Operation Hadinkai against insurgents. The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Hassan Abubakar, made this known during a Christmas luncheon with Air Staff in Maiduguri. Abubakar Musa reports.
Though a military affair cannot be dissociated with its main attributes like inspection of guard of honor and parades, the Chief of Air Staff Christmas luncheon can best be described as an entirely different atmosphere from the usual gunshots and bomb explosions being heard. For the brain behind the epoch-making event, Nigeria's Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal H.B. Abubakar, the best way to appreciate and acknowledge the resilience of troops on the front line is to bring them here together to wine and dine, in line with the teachings of Christmas, which of course is a season of showing love and compassion. Such occasions may be incomplete without messages of renewed hope and vigor towards charting the way forward.
I am optimistic that going into year 2024, the prospect of a safe and secure Nigeria for our citizenry is in sight.
In a reassuring remark, Governor Babagana Umara, represented by Commissioner of Information and Internal Security, reaffirmed government's commitment to continue to support the Air Force and other security organizations for sustainable peace and development.
Nigeria has a new President Commander-in-Chief, a new cabinet, and new service chiefs, who are all committed to the defense, security, and development of Nigeria.
If you think the Air Force has not gone far in instilling training and retraining of its personnel to meet global best military practices, check out this display by Combat Squad of the Force. In Maiduguri, Abubakar Musa, NTA News.
President Bola Tinubu celebrates Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, on his 70th birthday. The President commends the SGF for his consistent and dedication to duty in coordinating the affairs of the government, noting his rich portfolio of leadership experience and laurels as Governor, Minister, Senator and top-flight public servant, which he brings to bear in his current role. President Tinubu extols the temperance, affability, harmony and stability he consistently personifies as he coordinates activities within and with other arms of government, making himself accessible, focused and dependable in bridging the gap between policy and implementation. The President says George Akume is one of the most reliable citizens this country can boast of, and the people of Benue have subscribed to his sterling leadership principles and leveraged his remarkable talent for so many years because of what he has always stood for. The President implores Senator Akume not to relent in his diligent service to the country. And President Bola Tinubu sends his felicitations to the Governor of Nasarawa State, Abdullahi Sule, as he marks his 64th birthday. President Tinubu celebrates the accomplished engineer and businessman who superintended successful private enterprises like African Petroleum and Dangote Sugar Refinery PLC before investing his wealth of experience and expertise in the service of the good people of Nasarawa State. The President commends the Governor for his remarkable strides in Nasarawa, such as providing needed infrastructure, fostering peace and harmony among communities, and opening up the state for investments. President Tinubu notes that the first oil drilling in the state was inaugurated under the leadership of Governor Sule, an attestation to his penchant for pioneering groundbreaking efforts across sectors. The President wishes the Governor good health and strength as he turns 64. And the Speaker of the House of Representatives, Tajuddin Abbas, also congratulates the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, as he turns 70. Speaker Abbas, in his congratulatory message, notes that George Akume is among few Nigerians who have been privileged to serve in the executive and legislative arms of government at the state and federal levels. He said the SGF has distinguished himself as an astute politician and a Democrat who has nurtured other politicians over the years. He praised God to grant Senator Akume longevity in good health. Similarly, Deputy Speaker, House of Representatives Benjamin Kalu, in his birthday message says Akume has continued to foster good synergy to ensure effective implementation of government policies. Now, surrounding Nigeria's leadership, recruitment, diversity, inclusivity for a resilient nation, as well as the life, times and impact of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume took center stage at a one-day symposium to commemorate his 70th birthday in Makurdi, the Benue State capital. Blessing Omechi Ebute reports that the event attracted dignitaries from all walks of life.
The symposium, which is in honor of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, to mark his 70th birthday, harped on the diversity of the country and the need to manage it as a source of strength. Speaker after speaker emphasized that leadership character is mental, spiritual, and selflessness. They eulogized the leadership style of Senator George Akume, describing him as a bridge builder.
Nigeria is a diverse country, and it needs to be managed for the sake of the greatness and harnessing of its potentials.
Senator George Akume, a two-term governor of Benue State, three-term senator, former minister, and now secretary to the government of the Federation, nicknamed the Just George, is believed to be a square peg in a square hole.
George Akume is a very humble person. He personifies humility. He's a very kind and generous person.
We in the North Central, we are proud to have a true leader, a son that embraces all, sitting at his
of us to dismiss such baseless notions and focus on the shared commitments to truth.
For the celebrant, Senator Akume, the renewed hope initiative of the present administration will be beneficial for all Nigerians. He urged Nigerians to remain patriotic as the federal government is working towards stabilizing the economy and reducing poverty.
I want to thank you for the support you gave us in the last elections. Without your support, we could have been able to accept what we had at the national level and the state level. So you must always be what you put from his in the sky. Don't look back whatsoever.
High point of the ceremony was the cutting of the birthday cake by the celebrants, accompanied by top government functionaries. In Makurdi, Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
Thanks for staying with the NTA. President Tinubu felicitates with the Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Senator Atiku Bagudu, on his 62nd birthday. The president, in a statement, describes the two-time governor of Kebbi State as a consummate administrator. He wishes him good health, longevity, and strength in the service of the nation. Now, a bit on entertainment. Calabar is in its usual festive mood as the 2023 Cultural Festival will feature 15 states of the Federation and 18 local governments of the host state Cross River, showcasing its diversity in colors at the Mary Slessor Roundabout in Calabar, the Cross River state capital. Ekemini Williams has details.
Presence of personalities cutting across party line at the residence of the senator representing Ebonyi Central Senatorial Zone and the chairman, Senate Committee on Information, Senator Kenneth Eze, for many, is an indication of his acceptability and credible performance within his short time in the Red Chamber.
We are going to give him 100% support. This is the time they are going to see what leadership is all about in Ebonyi.
Senator Eze, while addressing his constituent, observed that the zone has suffered much neglect, which is why he is prioritizing youth empowerment through skill acquisition and employment for self-reliance. As the chairman, Senate Committee on Information, Senator Kenneth Eze said it's a new dawn for the sector, especially the broadcast media in Nigeria. He charged practitioners to be professionals in their conduct as government will be ready to play its role.
An interactive session with all the broadcasting industry in the country, and I do know their challenges. I do know the area they need to improve on their own, and the aspect government has to come to their head. I have read through your challenges, well articulated. I'm going to ensure that we take it one by one.
In the spirit of Christmas celebration, Senator Eze gave out bags of rice, cows, and millions of naira to each of the 4 local government areas of the zone. In Abakaliki, Innocent Abu, NTA News.
We do apologize for that mix-up. That was our report on the Senate Committee Chairman on Information hosting his constituents. Now, moving on, in keeping with its resolve to ensure the sustenance of the January to December budget cycle, Senate is to resume plenary on Saturday, 30th of December 2023. The Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, Adeyemi Adaramodu, notes that the lawmakers are working assiduously to cross the T's and dot the I's. Senate, he says, has shifted resumption to 30th of December against the earlier adjourned date to Friday, 29th December 2023. Now, our report on the Cultural Festival in Calabar is now ready. Ekemini, let's have it.
Pomp and pageantry in an environment animated by the array of arts and culture as contingents from 18 local government areas of Cross River State and 15 states of Nigeria paraded the Mary Slessor Roundabout.
And those states have less than 1 minute.
There were masquerades and cultural performances that excited the carnival crowd on the streets of Millennium Park through Mary Slessor in Calabar. The air was festive and the crowd exultant with all the colors and costumes and character of the troops from Kaduna, Edo, Enugu, Rivers, Kebbi, Kwara, and many others. Cross River State Commissioner for Information, Erasmus Ekbang, says the theme Season of Sweetness signifies a new dawn in Cross River State and a reawakening to rebuild the tourism legacy of the state.
It was intimate right for His Excellency Senator Prince Bassett to actually, bring this back for us to actually remember where we're from. For the Season of Sweetness, we're actually trying to get Cross River State and Calabar back to how it was. Recall that Calabar was the first capital of Nigeria. A lot of things happened here, slave trades and all that. We're just trying to go back to those memories, those days of our own real actual culture. It's really fun here.
Winners of the Carnival Parade will be announced on the 29th of December after the Bikers Carnival. In Calabar, Ekemini Williams, NTA News.
And out to security, normalcy is gradually returning to Mangu and Burkos local government areas of Plateau State after a renewed attack that occurred 24th of December 2023 by unknown gunmen. 12 villages are said to have been attacked and 221 houses set ablaze, including 27 motorcycles and 8 vehicles. Police reports confirmed deaths of 79 persons in Burkos and 17 in Barkinladi local government areas. The police have deployed a delegation of well-armed operational forces to restore peace in the area. Meanwhile, Governor Caleb Muftwang condemns the recent attack and directs security agencies to apprehend the perpetrators. He sympathizes with families of victims and urges citizens not to take laws into their hands, as government is doing everything possible to restore order. Meanwhile, President Bola Tinubu strongly condemns the heinous and brutal attacks in Burkos and Barkinladi local government areas of Plateau State, which resulted in a tragic loss of many lives. In a statement, the president directs security agencies to move in, scout every stretch of the zone and apprehend the culprits. The president also directs immediate mobilization of relief resources for surviving victims of the cruel attacks, as well as medical treatment for the wounded. While condoling with the government and the people of Plateau State, President Tinubu assures Nigerians that these envoys of death, pain and sorrow will not escape justice. And it's time to head to Lagos, where Michael is standing by with some reports for us. Compliments of the season, Michael.
Compliments of the season, Elizabeth. Nigerians have been encouraged to trust and believe in God, as the Almighty has not abandoned His people and Nigeria as a nation. The senior pastor, Household of God Church, Reverend Chris Okoti, said these at a special service in commemoration of 2023 Christmas celebration in Lagos. Dana Jali reports.
Behold, the birth of Jesus Christ is the reason for this celebration of Christmas. The church members were adorned in different costumes of Bible characters and conviction of their choice in a joyous mood. Reverend Chris Okoti was not left out. His unique attire also spoke of a Bible character. The senior pastor, in his usual manner, led the congregation in moments of praise and worship. The celebration also featured special renditions by different month-birth celebrants, with June emerging overall best. Although it was a special Christmas service, the senior pastor, Reverend Chris Okoti, while speaking on the significance of the celebration, advised the congregation and Nigerians in general.
God transmutes from omnipotence, omniscience, omnipresence to a palpable terrestrial entity known as the Lord Jesus, so that He can come to save mankind. And I want to assure Nigerians that that same God is here. The same Lord Jesus is here. He has not abandoned this nation. Nigeria is a client nation for God. So I want to seize the opportunity to say Merry Christmas to all of you. God bless you. We look forward to a prosperous new year.
It is hoped that lessons learned from this season will continue to resonate in the hearts of worshippers. In Lagos, Diana Ajale, NTA News.
Realizing the indispensable role of security to sustaining economic growth, professionals in the industry are advocating improved funding, continuous training of personnel to be alive to emerging threats, and a more encompassing management approach. Correspondent reports that key recommendation to achieving this is enhanced welfare. Guided by the notion that security is beyond military operations, but multifaceted, which impact has overwhelming effects on economic and national development, the call for restructuring of the nation's security apparatus therefore remains topical. Recommendations to the government is on how to redirect goals that will drive deeper commitment of all stakeholders in ensuring that no part of the country is less secured.
The sense of insecurity of the helpless and vulnerables must be addressed for this narrative to change for the sake of all of us. We must take on the gauntlet to redefine our value system and defend the public interest.
Beyond the call for community policing, stakeholders say there is need for enhanced professionalism through training and logistic support, which will unlock the potential to effectively safeguard the country.
We have advocated for improved welfare for the Nigerian police. Recently, the National Assembly allocated 57 billion for police trust fund. This money should be used meaningfully for the welfare of police officers. These are barracks that in Lagos and elsewhere that have been there for 60 years. It's our view that they should be demolished and modern structure put for police officers so that they will feel better.
Comparing notes among security agents in the country, is believed we assist in identifying common security threats that must be addressed.
To really address security matter, it requires greater investment and involvement of stakeholders. Apart from government, the United Nations Assembly has a role to play in trying to ensure that they give maximum support and adequate support. And manpower development and capacity building also ensure and enhance it will sustain tempo.
With all these suggestions implemented, key players say Nigeria will be able to attain the height of economic gains inherent in a secured environment. Those are the stories from Lagos. Time for some messages. The news will be back shortly. Please stay.
Good to know you're here, and it's that time we talk business. I will start by telling you that an African-American, Shakalit Yasin, has joined the rebranding and patronize Made in Nigeria products campaign, as he is determined to reduce the rejection of Nigerian exports while pushing for more patronage around the world.
I will select 50 products that I know that are being used in the United States of America, that are being used in the Caribbean, that are being used in Europe, that are being used in the Gulf states, in Malaysia. I will take those products from Nigeria. I will present those products, how the tariffs can be modified, how we can make sure they meet all the international standards in packaging and all of that there. Our first target is the 62 million Afro-Caribbean people who live in those countries.
Sourcing all these things will involve a lot of Nigerians' employment opportunity, and it will also boost our economy.
Now, capital inflows through foreign direct investment into the telecom sector over the last 4 years stood at $2.513 billion, with that of last year being the lowest. Statistics from the Nigerian Communications Commission and the Central Bank of Nigeria says the industry in 2020 was approximately $417.481 million against $942.863 million recorded in 2019. In 2021, it was $753 million against $417.481 million as at 2020, while the following year it was $399.9 million. Now, most Gulf markets gain as U.S. inflation moderate. However, most stock markets around the world remain closed for the Boxing Day holidays. Here's a look at some markets that were active. That is business news. Network news continues with Abubakar Musa in Maiduguri. Abubakar, it's over to you.
It's actually good to see you, Benny, on this Boxing Day. Now, still talking Christmas, a unity service comprises of all church denominations in Maiduguri held with a central message of peace and tolerance. Zainab Adam completes the story.
The unity service serves as a reinforcement to the faithful on the imperative of unity and forgiveness within the Christian community and their neighbors. The service also serves as a symbol of humility in line with the teachings of Jesus Christ.
There is power in being united, and there is the joy of being peaceful and living in a peaceful. This cannot be quantified. So when we come together, we appreciate and then cherish one another better.
If the mind that was in Christ Jesus will be in us, then we should be men and women of peace. Tolerate each other, eat, share what we have with each other. Make sure that you don't allow anybody to sleep in hunger. You don't allow anybody to celebrate with sadness.
Guest preacher Bishop Oliver Dashedomi dwelt extensively on the lesson from the book of John, urging the followers to rely on Jesus for strength and comfort, no matter what challenges they face in life.
If we, the leaders, are able to form our members, especially the youth who grow to be the future leaders of our country, if we're able to form them well, we'll have a very wonderful nation that will grow and will experience prosperity.
Clergies and faithful thank God for his mercy. Various speakers called on parents to closely monitor their children, especially youths, to become good members of the society. Prayers were offered for peace and unity of the nation. In Maiduguri, Zainab Adam, NTA News.
Away from issues that have to do with this year's Christmas celebration for now, Babagana Umar Zulum has announced 7 pilot communities for his administration's irrigation plan that aims to key into the national food security initiatives of the federal government under the Renewed Hope initiative of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The governor announced this during assessment visit to the project site in Mafa town, headquarters of Mafa local government area. Harris Mohammed Goni with the rest of the story.
The 7 irrigation schemes are to be sited at Gajibo in Dikwa, Jafi in Kwayakusar, Baga in Kukawa, Logomani in Gala, Damasak in Mobar, Dadinkowa in Bayo, and Mafa local government area. Governor Zulum, who said irrigation in Mafa has already started, targeting at least 10% of the population in the community, added that a number of farmers have already been identified and provided with needed agricultural inputs.
The types of crops that we want to grow here are wheat in tandem with the Renewed Hope initiative of President Tinubu. We want to plant wheat, amongst others. But most importantly, we want to see how we shall improve the means of livelihood of the community so that it will strengthen their resilience, especially after the menace of the Boko Haram insurgency.
While in Mafa, Governor Zulum inspected other facilities that include a solar-powered, free-flow, deep aquifer boreholes with a 30-liter per second discharge capacity and about 2.4 million liter capacity earth dam for irrigation project. Governor Bagana Umar Zulum also assessed Mapa Water Works aimed at addressing the problem of water shortage in the town. The Mapa Mega Water Works have a combined 400,000 liter capacity surface and overhead tanks, where the governor ordered reticulation to provide easy access for residents who have to walk far to fetch water. In Maiduguri, Mohammed Goni, NTA News.
Network News. In keeping with its resolve to ensure the sustenance of the January to December budget cycle, Senate is to resume plenary on Saturday, 30th of December 2023. The Chairman, Senate Committee on Media and Publicity, Adeyemi Adaramodu, notes that the lawmakers are working assiduously to cross the T's and dot the I's. Senator says has shifted resumption to 30th of December against the earlier adjourned date of Friday 29th December 2023. The federal government, through the IFED Livelihood Improvement Family Enterprises Life ND project, has distributed agribusiness inputs to 1,000 youth, women and vulnerable beneficiaries in Cross River State. Paul Abel reports.
Life ND is an agribusiness intervention project of the federal government
NDDC and IFAD in the Niger Delta region with the objective to enhance income generation, food security and create jobs for rural youths, women and people with disabilities through agribusiness initiatives in a sustainable manner.
We look forward to having the contribution of the life ND beneficiaries into the state gross domestic products in terms of agriculture.
Inputs you see today are meant to establish our trained and mentored incubators.
Here, initiators of the project and major stakeholders, incubators and incubatees have assembled, and the singular message is for the beneficiaries to take advantage and become employers of labor in no distant time.
I want to see agribusiness champions that will transform the rural economies and catalyze the growth and development of our dear state.
This one, government has started something for you people. It's a business.
The agricultural inputs which cut across 4 food chains include cassava stem multiplication machine, manual and automatic agrochemical spray, power tiller, poultry defeathering machine, and seasoning roaster. Agritech.
I thank the life ending for this.
So I appreciate it. May God bless them.
For the sustainability of the project, stakeholders appeal for counterpart funding by the state government. In Calabar, Paul Abel, NTA News.
And next is Sports Update.
President Bola Tinubu has assured the Horse Race Federation of Nigeria of his commitment towards supporting the sport in order to gain more followers across the country. The president gave the assurance at the end of the International Horse Race held at Sultan Sa'ad Abubakar Race Course, Bida, Niger State. The president spoke through the Minister of Sports Development, John Eno.
Encourage, the rest of the people, everyone, to engage in horse racing as a platform to continue to engender that peace.
In football, one football governing body, FIFA, has moved the 2024 Under-20 Women's World Cup final qualifying round, first leg match between Nigeria and Burundi. Initially scheduled for Burundi, but now moved to nearby Tanzania due to poor state of the pitch. In grassroots football development, the African Footballer of the Year female, Asisat Oshoala, returned to the field with the prestigious CAF Award to inspire young girls to excel in the game. 8 female football academies in Lagos featured in the week-long Asisat Oshoala Football for the Girl Child Tournament.
I just want to create more awareness regarding women's football and also create opportunities for the younger generation so they can actually achieve their dream.
Have so many young girls who are going to inspire and aspire to be like Asisat.
In boxing, coordinating Minister of the Economy and one of the pioneers of the monthly Lagos boxing show, Wale Edun, says the consistent staging of the championship since 2009 has helped to produce quality national boxers for the country.
It is all about youth development, giving the young people opportunity. And you must not break promises to young people.
The 14th edition of the Governor's Belt Boxing Tournament saw Karim Shukurat defeating national champion Joy Ujo to win the best boxer and the Governor's Belt. With Sports Update, Olumide Guntola, NTA News.
Thank you, Lumide, for the updates. Well, the weather has been awesome lately, so let's find out what it would look like tomorrow here in Abuja and other cities.
Avigenus. More dust is expected into the country in the next 24 hours, and it's expected to keep the north down to the inland cities of the south in moderate dust haze condition. However, visibility of less than 1,000 meters is expected over a few places in the north. Early morning mist and fog patches is expected over the coastal cities, and by afternoon they are expected to be in hazy atmosphere with few patches of cloud. Let's take a look at the air quality index and weather forecast across some selected cities. Thank you for watching.
And that's the news. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Elizabeth Omori. Compliments of the season.